It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
Hey, Macarena! It's the first time show.
Okay, now I'm ready. Let's get started.
Don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
Erotic? Don't be ridiculous. Be ridiculous. Will you just be ridiculous?
Guys, welcome to the first time show. We're talking about Lovecraft Country. We got Brett Register, we got Alana Fickes, and we got special guest Chris McCaleb.
Hello. Don't be ridiculous.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. I'm safely. I got myself out from under the bus that you guys threw me under last week on the podcast.
How was the accident? Were you?
It was.
Are you okay?
I'll tell you. Nothing. It's sort of like a cold shower. Like nothing wakes you up quite like when you get thrown under a moving bus.
Yeah.
And then quite literally die. But you know, hey, look, hey, if we're talking interdimensional travel, like this is the time.
Are you in one of Hippolyta's interdimensional flashbacks?
Hey, Brett, I am Hippolyta.
Oh,
I am Hippolyta.
Cool.
What did you play while you were talking?
Your hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about if you had some cock-a-doodle-doos pecked in your own coop.
I want to learn it so
Wow.
bad, but I don't know it yet. I forget it every week.
I told you to stay away from this grand wizardry shit.
So, we're watching Lovecraft Country, and Chris McCaleb is here. And it's funny because it really was the last episode when I was like, I'm throwing Chris under the bus here.
Yes.
Honk, honk.
If he hadn't come on this episode, he would have died under that bus.
I think, yeah.
Oh no!
I think it's true.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this is a public podcast, and so I did hear that. And no, it's funny. It's just like every time you ask me, there were extenuating
I
circumstances.
know, and
last week I was 3 episodes behind, so I was like, I just can't. But
Marathon
now I'm
Can we get your mom's
caught up,
thoughts
baby.
on you? Can we get your mom's thoughts on you being thrown under the bus live on the podcast?
Well, I want your mom's thoughts on...
I want your mom.
I want your mom's thoughts on this episode.
I do too, and so she's 1 episode behind, but I think she's gonna get herself, because now that she knows that I'm doing the podcast, she's gonna get all caught up, and she's gonna have a hell of a time looking for "Seems Like the First Time" podcast. But I think I'll help her out. I'll send it to her.
Well, I'm excited you're here. I'm telling you, man. I know there was a reason every time, and I believed you, and I understood, but I was just getting sad, and I miss my friend Chris McCaleb, and I miss
you, man.
talking about new shit with you, and, that's what this is. We're talking about new shit. We're talking about Lovecraft Country, episode 7, called I Am.
Yes.
Right?
Hippolyta.
Is Alana playing a bass drum over there? What's going on?
Can you hear that? It's my foot tapping the ground. I'm just happy, and when I'm excited, I
It
shake
sounds
my
like
foot
we're
around.
about to. Sounds like we're about to dive into Hooked on a Feeling.
Okay, let me cross my leggies.
Alana, calm the fuck down. I know it was a good episode.
You look fantastic tonight, Alana.
Thank
I'm
you.
distracted by
Yes.
Chris.
You know what I think
I
she
do, I
looks
love
like?
it.
She looks like remember that Robert Palmer video, Addicted to Love? She looks like one of those
Do
dancing
I have to
girls.
Google it up? Oh my gosh, what?
Yeah, look it up. Addicted
You don't know
to
that?
Love, Robert
No.
Palmer.
Oh man.
The
Not off.
lights are on, but you're not home. You're man.
Do you
Great
remember
stuff.
the Weird Al parody?
Do you know the song from the Love Actually movie?
This is what you think I look like.
Yeah.
Isn't he doing a play on
No,
that
look at-
video?
Look at how there's 2 of them, though.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
All
do you
right,
guys,
I'll
do you guys
take it.
remember the Weird Al parody of that song? It's called.
Was it like addicted to food?
It's called Addicted to Spuds.
Oh man, this is it, y'all. Oh shoot, it's so shiny.
Yeah. That looks great.
Yeah.
You need to heavy up on the eye makeup to get there.
I know.
And I guess your hair needs to be darker.
And
too.
I guess the lips need to be red, but you know.
It's 2020, okay? Your hair can be whatever color you want it to be.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it is on theme.
Well, we might as well face it. We're addicted to Spuds, and I'm addicted to Hippolyta.
Are you speaking for all of us? I don't know if I'm addicted to Spuds.
Listen, do you like Weird Al?
Lots of Spuds.
Sure.
Then you're addicted to Spuds.
Oh, dear.
Hell yeah.
So guys, this episode was directed by, according to the Lovecraft Country fandom, was directed by TBA and written by Misha Green.
And the head writer. They
Showrunner.
wrote it together.
And Shannon Houston.
Yep. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were done speaking. It's not just me. It sounded like you'd finished.
Know when you're talking to me.
Y'all hands wouldn't have.
Y'all hands want to have.
Y'all hands wouldn't have.
Y'all hands want to have nothing to cluck about.
Anyway, can I just say right off the bat, just to get the ball rolling here, I think this episode, I'm glad we're back to the main storyline, because the last episode was like a hard left for a second, which is fine.
Big time.
But it was a hard left, and I'm glad we're back to Letty and Tick and what's going on there. And I enjoyed this episode more than the last one.
This was my least favorite episode of the whole season.
What?
Oh,
I was gonna say this
why?
is my favorite episode so far.
I'm not surprised.
But it might be
Here's the
personal
thing.
reasons.
Let me dive in and then we can
Don't
talk
be
about good things.
ridiculous.
I felt like this episode never gave us an opportunity to feel anything because it was too busy telling us exactly what was happening and what we should be feeling. And we didn't get a chance to like see her character growth or see her go through those journeys because she was just telling us that she was going
And
through them.
this is my
and it made
complaint
them much
about the
less
other.
impactful.
What you just said was my, and I believe ours, Steve, complaint about the other episodes. How come our brains are so different?
Well,
I get it, I
Wildcard
get it.
Brett-
That's the beauty of us.
that's
And that's
Wildcard
the
Brett.
beauty of us.
But
I actually think that's a valid criticism.
Sure.
Despite the fact that I also really enjoyed this episode. And to add to what you're saying, Brett, and this show that I know this is my first time on the podcast, and I know you guys have talked a little bit, but the show has been marked with like very bold, I think usually home run music choices where you're like, what? Whose idea was that? That's crazy. And this, but sometimes the score can be a little heavy-handed, and in this episode especially, I thought the score was to what Brett is saying, really telling you like this is how you're supposed to feel at pretty much every moment,
right,
and it was a little too much.
That's so true,
I also
though.
feel like,
Even though I really like this episode,
and I really liked it too, but there's obviously like issues with the writing, and there's issues with kind of like passages
Some
of
of the
time and some of the
storytelling in general.
Some of the storytelling
like
in
what Brett
general-
said, I think goes for probably the whole series so far. I would agree.
Yeah, exactly. Like I still think
Yeah, but I
nothing-
haven't felt it like this felt strange. It felt like there wasn't I don't know, I don't want to like speak for anybody, but I'm like it feels like it felt like the script got rushed and they were like we have so many different scenes to hit and so many different locations in this episode, we kind of just have to go with it. And it didn't have a progression. It wasn't like she was shocked because we're talking about, is this the 40s, 50s? Did we ever land on exactly when it is? 50s, right?
54, I believe.
50s.
The year.
So she's in this totally modern spaceship. She doesn't really have time to process that. Then she's back, in France. Doesn't really have time. The show doesn't give her as a character time to process that before she's just in it and she's in, and then we're in somewhere else.
Which is
what I mean?
kinda-
It's just
which is
like
kinda how they handle-
It didn't feel like it built to something where she's like, oh, I'm starting to get a hang of this, and now it's like, I'm about to have character growth. It was just like every scene was just hard.
I feel like they're handling
character growth.
They're handling all of the like magic and otherworldly shit that way.
Yeah.
Though.
But I agree.
Like Ruby's character becoming a white woman and then like ripping out of her skin and then like the next day being like all happy and joyful and nothing bothers her is also very like, where was her time to process any of that? Like, we never got to see her process anything.
I agree, but I do think that they did a better job in the overall story of that character within the episode, because I felt like we kind of knew her a little better. I also feel like Hippolyta, we don't know that well yet.
True.
Like the scene with her and her husband and her experiencing that, I didn't feel like, and I might have just missed it, but it's like, I didn't feel like that the show had earned that with me, that I had been feeling like she felt that way.
I guess what it feels like to me is like, definitely this stuff comes from a book. Because it's like, I'm sure at this point, Hippolyta.
Well, we saw the book this episode.
Yeah, what is that?
I love that. I love that.
I wonder if that's in the book.
Well, who knows? But
is the book in the book?
It just seems like, I'm sure at this point in
the never-ending story
in Hippolyta's,
it's in the book. It's in the book. You know what I mean?
I feel like
read the book.
At this point in Hippolyta's storyline. Like, in the book, you've probably already gotten to know her really well, and you've probably had, like, offshoots of her storyline already. And in the series, it's like, okay, so do we have a Hippolyta episode before we go on this journey with her, where we kind of follow her around on her journey? And you kind of do at the beginning of it, and it really did seem like a lot of shit happening in one episode, but this show has been pretty bonkers so far, and I feel like if now I'm feeling like we're going through genres in every episode, like we had our foreign film in the last one, and then we had our ghost story, and then we had our body gore horror, and now we're gonna get our like slasher kind of stalker creature story in the next one.
Nightmare on Elm Street's coming.
I feel like since we're getting all these different genres, it's okay for them to just jump around and not make sense, because I just feel like they're trying to nail a tone, and I think they're focusing more
I
on
would say
that.
every episode so far, if you were to just watch last episode, it's the easiest, but every episode so far I think has been satisfying unto itself. Meaning, if someone were to jump into episode 4 and just see what's the one where she tore her body off? Anyway, if you were to just jump in on that one,
5,
with
right?
Ruby,
5, I think.
you wouldn't know the bigger story going on, but I think that episode would have been satisfying from a storytelling perspective, and that's what this compounding narrative, this compounding anthology, where it works. And this was the first time where I felt like it didn't work. It didn't stand by itself.
I just wanted to publicly say how great the term compounding anthology is. I know I said that to you privately, but I think that's what it should be called, because it is that. And this show is that. And I can't think of another example where there is a through line, but they really are anthology style stories. Like you said, they vary in tone, they vary in genre. And I think it's really cool. I think the coolness sometimes covers up for some of the narrative flaws, of which there are many. But
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the ride. Although I will say this, speaking to Ruby and Letty, like in this episode, they got into some of their like sister drama, and I feel like when you've been through what the two of them have separately been through in the last like month, I don't know how long this has been going on, weeks, I don't know. I feel like you don't immediately go back. Like sister drama is gone. Like that will never happen. You'll be like, hey, we're looking for the book of names. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm fucking a witch,
and I'm a white woman during the day.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I've been walking around as a white woman. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's crazy. So I don't think you ever go back to normal life after that.
And I don't
It's like
I don't like that they didn't talk about it, or even that they're dealing with some crazy shit in their life right now. But it seems like they're doing the kind of like, and I'm really dreading this, but it seems like they're alluding to Ruby siding with Michelle. Is that her name?
Christina.
Yeah.
Lindsay.
Those names are so
Romy?
similar.
I don't like that they're. I'm dreading that we're gonna do the whole like Ruby's working with what's her name to try to like get some info
Yeah.
on what Letty and Tick are doing.
But you're not excited about Ruby to work with Anastasia?
I'm just not excited about Letty and
I think that could
Ruby.
be cool.
I'm not excited about Letty and Ruby's like, you betrayed me thing, and then we're gonna have to deal with all that shit.
Well, Letty's pregnant, so she's gonna be upset
she's
about
out
a
now.
lot.
9
Yeah,
months.
but is
Out
she
for 9
pregnant
months.
with Junior Repairman, or is she pregnant with a
Junior Repairman.
whatever she called?
What?
That's what she called him.
it.
That's what
She called him
it,
Junior
yeah.
Repairman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she said that he.
That was one of
fixes-
my clips I was gonna pull.
Yeah,
but
she
technical
said she
difficulty.
fixes-
Spoiler for clips.
That she's like, is that Tick? He's the only one not paying for rent on
Right,
this
right,
side, and
right.
she's like, he fixes things around the house. And then when she said the garlic was making her sick, she's like, oh, either you've got Junior Repairman's baby in you or whatever. But
It was one of
Is
those
it
that it was too
Junior-
many things to stick in
is
here.
it Junior Repairman, or is it one of those creatures that was birthed from the cow, and the crazy witch lady is gonna birth out a creature from Letty?
Don't be ridiculous.
I don't know. We've seen Stranger Things in the show.
We've
also
seen perfect Stranger Things.
Wow.
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
But anyway, I don't know.
I don't know. So, it's funny how much
Bless
happened in
you.
this episode that
I
wasn't
know.
Hippolyta, like him finding his father with the other man.
And then getting really angry
And-
about it and feeling like, I guess they're alluding to he's angry about.
His
He
dad
feels like
punished
his
him
dad's-
for his dad's faults. Like,
Yeah.
rather than punishing him thinking he's doing well for his son, he's punishing his son because he feels he's doing badly. And that's much more painful.
Yeah, and I think his son just thinks he's a liar. And then he quoted
Yeah.
Bill and Ted 1 and 2.
Yes, he
and,
did.
I had to turn the volume down.
What did he say?
He said that bad F word. And,
Bill and Ted.
and they're really giving him more things for us to kind of be in the gray area with him in. Like after the torture stuff and the murder and the in the previous episode, we're seeing him just kind of like,
He's
true
an
to
interesting
time, true
character.
to
Well,
the
that's
time,
what the podcast
true
said.
to what masculinity at the time, true to that kind of like
Not just masculinity, but like common perception coming from church-going folk.
Sure, but
Which is not to say that makes it okay, but they said that on the podcast even, that they wanted to make sure that reactions were realistic. Like, I think, like we've just said, the root of his anger wasn't in being homophobic, but it is still very shocking and emotional to hear that at that time about his dad.
in a show too that's like being honest with its portrayal of
History. Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to hear in a
So-
modern thing, and
So hard to hear.
and heard in that way from a character that we like don't want to see act that way, and we don't want
Totally.
to see do those types of things. So it's really complex stuff that they're dealing with in this series, which is really intriguing and
Well,
makes the show great.
they mentioned something else on the podcast. They said his anger is partly that he's also now struggling with his mom was always like the good angel versus his dad being the bad angel. That's the analogy I'm using. That's not what they said. And he's struggling with, because he asked the dad, did mom know? And he basically confirms that. And he's struggling with this idea that his mom knew about it too. And like, then his mom's kind of also a bad guy for the beatings he got and all these things that are just related to this. And I think that's meant to
It's
be
just
part
a
of the
lot for
struggle.
him to deal with,
Yeah.
on top of all the other shit he's dealing with.
And how was that backyard that he walked into? That was like a set with all those doors.
Yeah, you mean the alleyway of forgotten set deck?
Yeah, it was like an
It was
Instagram
just like,
setup.
It was just like door,
It was the
door,
drama department.
door. Yeah, totally.
But I mean, I could buy that there's like,
That's great. Pen
projects
15.
Sure.
or,
Pen 15 is killing it, by the way.
So good. Oh my god. When are we gonna do that?
I know.
I absorbed it
Save
into
it
my
for your
pores.
Pin 15 podcast.
We'll do it after Corey in the house. So anyway, so I what I really loved was the way that they handled this like time machine, dimensional
Oh, can I
machine.
tell you what it
Like,
was?
I remember thinking like, well, before you tell us what it is, because Alana listened to the podcast.
I listened to
and got a lot
the
of
HBO podcast, yeah.
information that you would have never gotten from the episode.
And some of it you were guided toward, and then it's
I mean, sure, but you told me some things that are like, what?
Yeah, there are definitely every episode. There's a few things where you're like, I would never have known.
Like the
Is it
finality.
time for Alana's thoughts?
No, not yet, not yet.
But can I say something
Please.
real quick?
Sure.
As the plug, as the host of the Better Call Saul Insider podcast,
Of course, please.
I am. Thank you for that one horn honk. I appreciate.
You're welcome.
The fact that they put that thing out like the second the episode is out. That's great. The infrastructure they must have and the coordination. Like we don't. Ours is more independent than the podcast we're doing right now. Like I mean, you guys have much more, high quality microphones and stuff.
And we also have
we
technology
just do it all ourselves
to do this. And that anytime we want. Just real quick, in the middle of my admiration for them getting their podcast out very quickly, that sound of the mummy has become such a part of my life in a way that mystifies me and others around me. It's a lot to deal with, and I love it so much.
Chris, I want a book of poetry called "Sound of the Mummy."
Yeah.
Written by Chris
McCaleb.
All right, well, I'm gonna write that down. I'll get it going.
Yeah, please write that down.
Write it down.
Sound of a Mummy will be Chris's short and Gray Bones in a Grave.
Crix is short. Can we have also Crix is short as a grave?
I have a friend named Crix.
Cricket's short.
Crix?
Yeah, it's a nickname, I think.
Oh.
I don't know for sure.
He's been dead for years.
What do I look like? Her biographer?
What do I know for sure?
So, I really. Oh, Chris, continue about the podcast. Yeah, it's crazy.
That was it. I mean, I was basically at the end.
Yeah,
they record it before.
I'm sure they do it way in advance.
Yes,
and then, but the fact that they're able to publish it and not spoil the show, like, because it's pretty difficult. Like you guys know this. Like the iTunes, I'm assuming Spotify is similar. The algorithm, like whatever. Code has to get written to push it out there, and for iTunes to be like, all right, it's here, like the fact that they can, they're HBO, they've got some money.
They must.
I assume that they maybe they have a relationship with iTunes that maybe we all could use a relationship.
Dude,
hey,
actually,
iTunes,
that could be true because
100% has to be true because Chris is that's dead on.
Hey, Stitcher.
It's like the minute I refresh my iTunes and it's there. Like
and they gotta make sure that it doesn't like go up before the episode goes up or something.
Because it's 100.
Then people could get all those spoilers or whatever.
They open every episode with like quotes too, so it's spoiler from the first second.
Oh, we could have pulled our quotes from that.
Oh shit! Except they're not. They're not the funny clips.
You guys fucking blew it. So. What I loved was like you thought there was going to be time travel, and instead of like time travel, there was more like interdimensional.
I can tell you what it was.
Travel.
Well, yeah. What was it?
Why don't I just tell
us what it is?
I got plenty of notes. This is a simple one.
I just want to say that whatever, like the visual effects are so intriguing to me in this show because
so good.
Some of them are incredible. Just the like. Weird like rip in space-time just kind of like flickering
between like Apple screens, Apple save screens.
Apple wallpapers. Like that shit was fucking rad.
Yeah.
And then when she falls in and then she goes on that journey or whatever, that's even more rad. And then and all the effects around that like time travel machine or whatever, fucking brilliant. I loved it. But then you got the like bleeding guy and the blood effect looked like 1993 CGI effects.
Wait,
There's a guy in Africa that she does a full circle around his neck to kill, and it just lingers on him, and then his head snaps off. That effect.
The head snap.
Now, Chris.
Cool. Oh, hold on, Alana. You said they're in Africa. Now, how do you know that? Because they were all speaking English. Why?
That's a good point, though, for real.
Did they talk about that on the podcast?
No.
Because the official HBO podcast?
Because she wasn't really in Africa, Chris. She was in a manifestation of an idea that was tailor-made for her.
Well, that's a theory.
I can't argue.
Also, there were so many times during this episode that I thought Alana's face when fashion would come into play. I was like,
yeah.
oh.
I can't wait to get to
Alana's
Alana's
face?
I had that
thoughts.
thought too.
I mean,
We'll
I don't
talk-
have much. Perfect.
Well, yeah, but you got to talk a little bit about
10
the
out of 10.
outfits, for God's sakes.
All right.
But
The
anyway,
hairdo
okay, so
from
what?
the alien woman alone.
I Googled it. I tried to find a
loved it.
wig of it.
Okay,
Couldn't find
Alana,
one.
tell us
That's
what it was.
Oh, okay. So they said on the podcast, it's not a time machine. It's a multiverse machine.
Which I kind of got from whatever like weird coordinates we were seeing on the screen. Like, remember every time she kind of like was going through montagey kind of training things, the like coordinates kept changing. It seemed to me like those were like coordinates and then time, like what time it was.
Yeah, because it looked like it was
Right.
telling
Didn't
us how
we
many
guess
days.
that's what it is?
I
Didn't we
love
guess
that it
that's
kept
what that
changing
thing was
as
earlier?
if those things meant something to us.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah.
but the
Well, I'm
like,
used to it being .01556924.
the thing
so.
she had that like had coordinates on it kind of got us into the coordinates zone, and then that's why.
Well,
But
I
guess
thought
that,
I was
but
like,
that was
oh,
their
is this?
visual explanation of like other
Time.
universes,
And
because
time
you're
passage,
seeing
right?
like weird coordinates
Yeah.
that are like insane, that aren't like Earth.
I didn't know if that was a fucking JJ thing where he's like, you got to put numbers in it because people will look up the numbers and try to figure out what they mean.
Right,
And then you
right.
can put those numbers all over the internet
They-
and lead them down rabbit holes.
They
Find
get on their
stuff.
big like their first meeting about the show with JJ, and JJ's there, and he's like, "I don't care what the fuck you guys do, just put some numbers in there." Anyway, I gotta go.
Yeah, does JJ? Their meeting's already started, and he just walks in and he goes, "Hey guys, I'm super busy. Star Wars unsolvable mysteries," and he just walks out.
Very 30 Rock.
Did he say unsolvable mysteries?
What does that even mean?
Does he? I look. He's the guy. Look, he's the guy.
Maybe he wants us to look into unsolved mysteries and get some inspiration from that show.
Isn't that on Netflix now?
Could be.
It just came back,
It is.
yeah.
I've
We'll
heard it's
never
really
know.
cool.
Yeah.
Since it came back.
Anyway, so that's cool. So it's a multiverse.
It's going to blow your mind when you finally
Multiverse
watch Lost,
machine.
Alana.
I know.
It's gonna blow your mind when you finally watch Rick and Morty and you learn about multiverses and
And pickles.
Multiverse
men that
machines.
become
Pickle Rick,
pickles.
boys.
So anyway, we want to jump into Alana's thoughts.
Sure, I tried to
Alana's
separate.
thoughts.
I'm hearing that fucking buzzing sound, and I hate it.
Oh, I'm not hearing
We're
it
like
if it
picking
helps.
up this like interference, and it's driving me crazy. I don't know where it's coming from, but I hear it.
Oh,
It
okay.
could
I
be
hear
the
it, I
crickets
hear it.
outside of the haunted house I'm in.
We could pretend it's crickets,
It's
but
just
it's not
something
crickets.
happening on the Zoom. I don't know why. I hate it.
watch. Hold on, Brett. Mute your audio.
I just did.
Do it right now. It's Brett.
Now you
No, I
mute
can
yours,
hear it.
Chris.
Oh, I think it's
Yeah,
us.
it's
It's
something
definitely
here.
us.
Yeah.
You can come back.
Yeah.
This is my favorite
It's
part of
us.
the podcast. This needs its own
Mine
theme
too.
song.
It's really
Fun
fun.
stuff.
All right. Well, anyway, let's jump
The
into
Buster Keaton
Alana's
hour.
thoughts. How about that, you son of a bitch?
Everyone shut up, cause Alana's talking. Everyone shut up, it's Alana's notes.
You know what bums me out? The video version of the last episode has not gone up yet. But it was a fuck of a week, so give me some goddamn time.
Oh,
Did you say this
it
was
took
a
me.
fuckable week?
It took me so
Those
long.
fuckable weeks.
Everything you said was like a Mad Lib just now for me. It didn't make sense. Oh, my head.
Well, you have the floor.
Okay, floor, boys and girls. Okay, so I separated into clothes and information stuff. In information 1, Steve found this out. The motorcycle lady who came by on the motorcycle, her name is Bessie Stringfield, and she is this black woman who motorcycled across America, and it was a first and a big deal and incredible. Want to see a picture?
Very cool.
For those
Yes.
who are doing the video, I thought it was a cool picture.
You got yourself a fish biscuit.
Oh shit, I can't find it. Okay, wait. Well, I'll just skip
if
it.
you're playing the drinking game, every time we show a picture, you take a drink.
Take a drink, because I'm about to show you a dang picture. This is her being like a baby. A babe in a good way, not baby tiny. A baby.
Wow.
I know.
That's really cool.
And she obviously has a great amount of attitude and goodness to be in such a beautiful picture. That's very cool.
So she, like Forrest Gump style, went across the country.
That's why, I mean, I haven't...
On a motorcycle, which is way cooler than running.
100%. 100%. She did it like... Who are those guys who's the guy from...
Rough Riders.
No, the dude from Moulin Rouge who I love.
Ewan McGregor?
Ewan McGregor. He did a Motorcycle Diaries thing. He's like following in her tails. Okay.
John Leguizamo. Oh, I think there's a delay. I'm sorry. I just heard it now.
Damn internet.
The African warrior women are depicted in the show are the Dahomey Amazons.
Cool.
And those are the same warrior women who the Black Panther movie took inspiration from.
Cool.
I almost
What
said
was up
cartoon.
with the seashells around her necklace?
So cool. There's a lot of seashells in African like design and jewelry and clothing and whatnot. So I feel like, I mean, I haven't been to Africa, but I'm gonna guess there's a
like
lot of
little
that.
puka shells in it.
Yeah, and the huge ones around here too.
Helmet.
Wasn't there a scene with Hippolyta where she sells seashells
down by
the seashore?
Fuck you.
That would explain, I mean, if it connects to her selling things by the seashore, that would also further explain why they're all speaking English.
Don't be
Did you think it was like, I know this is Alana's thoughts, but it's like in the Star Wars prequels. Like in Star Wars 4, 5, and 6, every alien speaks a different language.
Yeah.
And then in the prequels, they speak English with accents. Not good.
You know what though? Can I
But
tell
she
you
was on the
who
TARDIS,
does-
so it makes sense.
I was just
Wait,
gonna
is
say,
this,
Doctor Who does that.
We're
the
just gonna
best than
breeze
any
past the
other
hot
show.
take that McCaleb doesn't like the prequels.
Oh,
You gotta take some time
I
with
would
that.
be surprised to
hot
hear he
take?
did. Yes.
Yeah, wow.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, I think
Are we still at Alana's
we're in Alana's
Yeah,
thoughts,
we're still
yes.
here.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the woman dancer in the French place, I think it's clear that that's Josephine Baker because her name is spoken. But Josephine Baker, in case you don't know, her most iconic image is because Steve didn't know, so I thought, well, maybe other people don't know. She's the black woman who's dancing with the banana skirt.
I was like, Carmen Miranda? Who are you talking about?
No, that's Josephine Baker. That's her like
When you said dancing with bananas, not banana skirt. So I was like, Carmen
my
Miranda?
third word was skirt.
I don't think I remember. I don't even know what a banana skirt is.
Oh, well, you know, if you've seen the picture.
Does anybody, Chris, do you know what a banana skirt is?
I plead the fifth. I'm sorry.
Brett?
I don't
Is
recall.
this
Said
is
it
it
or
a
I don't
skirt
recall.
made out of bananas?
That's what
Bing,
I'm
bing,
assuming.
bing, bing,
Is
bing,
it
ding,
really?
bingo. Yes.
It's banana peels or something?
Steve, have you never you seen this?
It's literally banana peels.
You acted as though you were confirming, like, oh yeah, that girl.
'Cause
You
I
just
thought
made
you
it
were-
up.
What do you mean? I was like, Carmen Miranda? I don't know who you're talking about.
Josephine Baker. I'll put it up here so everybody could see. She's a dancer, singer, performer.
Oh, they're not banana peels.
They're full
She's
bananas,
like-
but like every
Like the first
cartoon.
famous exotic like dancer who took Europe by storm.
Exactly.
I've never seen this
Very
woman in my
famous.
life.
Steve, let me tell you how many cartoons
Well,
have
she's
spoofed
dead.
Josephine Baker that I'm sure you've
Spoiler.
seen as your cartoon obsessor. For
I don't
sure
know.
you've seen them.
I remember
gonna
Bugs Bunny
Google them
doing
after this.
the Carmen Miranda thing.
There, see, there's so much art based off her, etc. And obviously, she does more than the banana skirt thing. I just wanted to point out, if that's the only way you know her, that might be the only way you know her. And
Other fruit skirts,
other fruit skirts.
fruit roll-ups.
She had a strawberry pasty.
Y'all hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about.
Okay, that's all we get. I was ready to keep going. But this is what I didn't know about her is that she was also really into politics and was all about, she was American and obviously performed a lot in France as we see in the episode, but she was really a civil rights activist and into all this kind of activism. I had no idea at all, which is very cool.
Super cool.
And you know, that's common that a performer, you don't really know their activism as much generally. So cool. Something to Google up. Also, Frida Kahlo is there in our
Whoa, what a
Moulin Rouge
clip.
scene. Did you?
I didn't expect it to be.
Where'd you pull that from?
It was
What is
was
that?
from the last episode.
What
Oh,
was
right.
that?
Oh, it's
Right.
it's when she.
Oh, when he screams
the-
at the yeah.
Yeah, when
Let's
he
hear
was
it.
on the mountaintop.
Yahoo, boys.
And then she split him in half.
Yeah.
Amen. Splitta. Okay, Frida Kahlo is also in that scene, confirming in case. I feel like it was a little blurry because, to be honest, I didn't think that actress looked much like Frida Kahlo at all. So I was like,
Agreed.
Did her one sentence kind of
I
convince
just think
me?
if it's historical and there's a unibrow, I'm going
I know.
Pretty
I'm
much
always
right.
going Frida.
until
know.
told otherwise.
Right.
Fortunately, that worked.
Either that or my 8th grade science teacher. But I don't think she's that famous.
Or
so.
the girl from Hey Arnold.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
Those are the two most famous unibrows.
Yeah.
Dang. This is my favorite bit of trivia.
Of course not. Don't be ridiculous.
My absolute favorite. I can't wait to see your faces when I say this. So you know the woman who's like when she's in the spaceship equivalent, whatever, that weird place where she's like all white walls and she's figuring shit out when Hippolyta's figuring stuff
the
out.
giant alien?
The like giant woman who has the huge hair and comes out like talking to her. That woman's that woman's
was
name.
Not her name was not Dusty.
That woman's actual name was
Actor or the character?
character. Her name is Beyond Say.
Whoa.
For real. That's the perfect sound effect.
Beyond say.
Beyond Say. And in the podcast, they mention her like 70 times. You could do a drinking game out of how many times they say Beyond Say.
That feels like a name they came up with in the writer's room and like never changed.
Yeah.
They just kept calling her, oh, that's, Beyonce. I mean, obviously we'll change that later, but, and then they never did.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Is she credited in the
I hope-
IMDb as Beyonce?
I mean, she has to be. They said her name like 40 times. Every time got me real good in the gut.
Nice.
So I'm guessing that. Okay, so now clothing-y stuff. Those are all the infos. Yay! I want
Jackpot.
Cheekmate. The clothes, as usual. We get to go to 1920s France, which is my favorite era and my favorite place. Like, to be honest, I was kind of expecting.
And how'd they do?
I mean, I think they did really well but I wish they showed us more of the cool costumes that would just be what people would normally wear and not just the like showgirls on stage stuff. Because any shots where they showed people background or whatever, it was just really dark and out of the shot, whatever. You didn't really get to see cool 1920s stuff, but we got cool like showgirls 1920s, which was impeccable, incredible. The haircuts and the makeups and everything. Y muy bueno. All the dancing. Loved it. And I noticed for the first time in this episode, well, the first time we see Ruby outside of a dress, she's in some shorts, baby.
I loved that outfit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was flame-o.
She looked great.
She
sitting on that
looked like her.
windowsill.
She looked so different that I thought it was a different character for a second. I was like, wait, I mean, it's definitely her.
She was definitely wearing
but-
a completely different out of character
It
outfit.
felt out of, yeah, totally.
She was kind of dressing the way Letty dresses.
Exactly. But she's been getting more freedom, so I can imagine she's like shifting in
Loosening
who
up,
she is. Maybe
trying
it's,
out.
trying out different things.
Shit!
They mentioned on the
Hey,
podcast. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You got it.
No, you
No, you
Wow,
go.
what I was- look,
no, you
hey, this
go.
is
No,
great.
Brett,
Why don't
you
you
go.
go ahead?
No,
Brett,
please,
Brett,
you
Brett,
go.
Brett.
Come
Please.
on.
I would love to hear your thoughts.
Hey, guys. Long time, first time.
Long time, first time.
Seems like the first time.
It seems like.
I don't look. I don't know. I can't tell you guys how to do this show like week to week. I'm not in charge of it. But somebody, do I talk to Ryan Faroki? Who do I need to talk to get you guys to pull Alana's "E muy bueno" as like a clip that needs to be played at any? Like I might pull that clip myself and just like insert it into my life.
The one she just did?
Yes, it was muy bueno.
Oh, I love it. Let's get it
It
into
was
the
molto
clip.
bene.
We need to get Steve's chef's kiss too, and something for Brett to
We
put them all.
need the Alana's Thoughts song to have that included in it. We need a new version of it.
Well, that's
The
cute.
song is really good.
It's so good.
Anyway, I didn't
we
mean
need
to-
to
sorry
end
to-
with
sorry to-
"It's muy
Very
bueno."
cute. We were talking about Ruby's outfit. Oh, they mentioned on the podcast that they had her sunbathing, in that outfit when she's talking to Letty.
Yes.
They had her sunbathing on purpose to kind of push.
Oh, I didn't see that as her sunbathing.
Oh yeah, well I did. So
Oh,
you're
is that what they
crazy.
said in the podcast?
Yeah, they were like acknowledging that she was like, yes. What else do you call that? Bathing in the sun?
I thought she was just sitting there waiting for Letty because she saw
She was
her
sitting
coming.
halfway outside the window in the sun.
Okay, but with like all of her clothes on and stuff.
Well,
How do
you
you?
know, she wasn't bikini in. Anyway, the point is, they said that they acknowledged that that was specifically done not only to make her look like this epic goddess sunbathing, queen of the universe personality, but because they wanted to make sure we knew that she wasn't wishing that she were white. You know how, because she keeps going into the white body.
Right.
They wanted to acknowledge, like, she's not upset with how dark she is, and the sunbathing was a push for that. So I like that. Subtle notes, although
Interesting.
I wasn't concerned about that, but I could imagine some people seeing it that way. And the coolest thing about costumes I want to mention is I noticed this time that they keep putting Letty in these like Asian inspired fabrics and materials, and I never put it together. I was just like, oh, Letty's more like open-minded to like cultures than other characters or something. But now that we've seen that episode in Asia, it makes sense. And even this episode, she had these, what I saw as they were like cranes and
Why
fans.
would it make sense for her to be wearing it though?
Well, that's
saying because Tick has a thing. He's got like a vibe that he
I just think it makes sense
Bit
that
of
it was
vibe.
on purpose and not just like, oh, she just likes things like this more. Like, I think it's communicating something to us that I didn't pick up on before our Asia ep.
But what would her connection be to the Asian inspired?
I don't know, but
stuff?
I'm excited to find out.
we'll find out.
I think it's going to be something. She's going to
Okay.
have more of a connection there,
All right,
I think.
All right.
Wait, you don't think that they're gonna give Jamie Chung credit, single card credit in the credits every week just for the one episode?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Yeah,
they
I
wouldn't
mean,
be. She's
think
big,
she'll
but
be
she's
back?
not that big.
I'm sure she's coming back.
100%.
Oh
She's
yeah,
gotta
she's
come
definitely
back.
coming back.
She's gonna save the
Is
day.
that? I think you guys. I don't know if you guys asked this, but do we know? Is this a one and done limited series, or is it?
We asked last
We
week.
don't
I
know
mean,
yet.
it came
Yeah, I
up and
thought
said
so.
like in the trailer for the next week, it was like 3 episodes left.
Yeah,
Obviously
I saw that
this
too. I
season,
was-
but it didn't say
was
I
like.
feel like it's
for,
one of
you
those
know.
things where like we're gonna get to the finale and they're gonna be like they got a season. They're picked up for season 2 or something. Like they're probably waiting to announce that. Maybe.
Maybe it's the HBO Max of it all that they're trying, the nightmare that has descended upon the HBO family with this Max situation.
Yeah, it
I know
could
we're
be.
still in Alana's thoughts. I apologize.
No, we can be done,
I'll
actually.
take my answer off air. Thank you.
No, I wanted to ask about how is your mom watching this actually? Does she have HBO Max?
She has cable. So yeah, so I think I feel like she got HBO to watch Watchmen
Okay.
because of the podcast.
That's so great.
then-
Did she like it?
Sponsor us, HBO.
Oh, I mean, have you ever talked to anybody who watched
I
Watchmen
know,
and were like,
yeah.
yeah, it's all right. It was
I
okay."
mean, I've
it's
never heard from any
incredible.
boomers about Watchmen.
Well, she loved it, and she loved it, and the podcast.
That's wonderful.
But
well, thank you for
but
listening,
Mom. I
Mom.
think
Thanks, Mom.
that's right.
Thanks, Barbara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
That made him happier.
and boy, if she's still listening, man, boy, what a day for her. And she's
She's
gonna talk
famous.
about this at the dog park. Like everybody at the dog park is gonna they're gonna go crazy about this. Margaret, everybody.
Is she gonna play this part for her friends? Listen to this.
I mean, now she might. Now that I've been like, look, he's talking about the dog park.
We'll let her know it's Alana's
dog park
thoughts.
is really
It's rude.
It is really fun. Yeah. Anyway.
but she's able to watch it with cable because my mom can't. She still can't figure out how to get HBO. She's like, I spoke on the phone to whatever network she has. Nothing's working, and I'm sad for her. I want to help, but
I mean, I told Steve, you know what? I'm going to reserve my Max thoughts until Mac, that some people call me Mac. I've got Max thoughts about HBO Max.
Max.
I don't.
Max
Maybe
thoughts.
I maybe don't even have to share on this podcast because I don't.
Are
know
these positive thoughts or negative
sponsors? Oh, Brett.
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
I just
we're in
watched
Alana's stuff.
Class
Let's keep it
Action
positive.
No,
Let's
my
keep it
clips are
positive.
complete.
All right, is that it for your thoughts, Alana?
Well, I love the space outfit at the end. Duh. The skirt. Ooh, the best part. Solar system skirt.
Whoever is designing Letty's outfits, I don't know if they're building those or finding them.
Building.
But
It
every
looks like they're
piece of
finding them.
Clothing that she wears is like perfect. It's
totally.
Yeah, the costume department is just out of control.
Out of control.
Yeah.
Everybody
Really, the
looks
craft is
great.
incredible.
It's perfect.
And they're made. Can you believe they're made? They're even aged to perfection. The fabric is perfection. Everything. Okay.
Just like wine.
Now, who built Tick's body? Because what?
Jim Henson Studios.
Yeah, because wow.
Yeah.
I feel like the Muppets would be way more popular if they all looked like Tick. Just like
Just
orange,
super buff
just
Kermit.
like they've got muscles. You're like, I didn't know that those muscles existed. Like, I don't think I have those muscles.
He's got a
If I
7
found
pack.
It's a missed opportunity.
All right.
For
Well.
sure.
Oh, Dana Pink. Dana Pink is the costume designer.
Well, Alana, thank you for your
killing it,
thoughts.
Yeah, she's fucking killing it.
Everyone shut up, 'cause Alana's talking. Everyone shut up, it's Alana's notes.
We don't have clips,
Okay, Beyond say.
so
I'm
let's
downloading a thing to fix that, but it's going to take 37 minutes. So if
That's
there's a
okay.
lot of emails.
Maybe
We'll have
somebody-
clips by the end of the episode. If not, we'll have clips next week. But
Yeah, because there were some
the
good
one
clips,
I really
but-
wanted to
Oh,
the
go
one I
ahead.
wanted to pull was I like my grits firm. I missed that
I like
one.
my grits
so-
firm.
I mean, I wasn't able to pull it.
Well, we'll probably get to
Well.
that next time, or someone else will get them. But it's okay. You're on the East
We'll
Coast.
double
It's a
up.
busy time, and we're doing the best we can during this pandemic. So let's just jump into the emails.
Look who's here.
Fuck your daughter.
Oh, that's nice.
Your hands wouldn't have nothing.
Oh, shit!
Your hands wouldn't have nothing.
Officer Mustard Stain. Time for some emails.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazim.
All right.
It never gets old.
It's so good. What a gift to the world.
Thank you, Josh
What was he
Travolta.
thinking? What was he fucking thinking? Did he think
What'd
it was
you
gonna?
say?
Do you think he thought it was gonna be okay to get that
Dude, he
woman's
was
name
thinking,
completely
"Oh, no."
wrong?
Oh, Adele Dazeem.
He was thinking, "Oh no,
Yeah.
I have to say something."
I wonder if
I
he's
have to
probably
get
like
out of
dyslexic
this.
and stuff.
I
I have to
mean,
be.
What did he explain? What happened? Was it that
No, he's
the
a
name wasn't on the
Scientologist. We don't
prompter?
talk about it after it happens.
No. All right. Let's get to these emails, huh? So we got a couple from the last episode.
Which
So
you're refusing to read.
I'll read them. Young Wolfo.
Depends on his mood.
Young Wolfo sends Young's thoughts.
Ooh.
He says, and this is about the last episode. This episode was amazing, but I do not know if our thoughts will be extra helpful, but here we go. By the way, Justice is the name of my BB girl, and you don't have to read all of them if it's too long. Love you all.
When he says baby girl, he means daughter or like girlfriend?
I have no idea.
Could go either way.
Chris?
That's a good name though.
Hey, what's up?
I feel like
How you doing
there's
there,
paparazzi
baby
in here.
I know.
Hey,
Justice, what you doing there, baby?
You taking some unauthorized photographs during the recording?
The recording.
There is quite a lot of thoughts here,
Uh-oh.
and they're like minute by minute kind
Oh,
of thoughts.
gosh.
So we're just gonna go ahead and
Too
say
many thoughts,
thank
baby
you
girl.
for the email,
Sorry,
baby
baby
girl.
girl.
Moving on. Nathan Grunwell sends an email saying Lovecraft Country episode 6, shortest thoughts, not from where I'm standing.
I love it when Steve roasts them.
Steve, this isn't my business email. It's my old secondary school email, and it's extremely confidential between you, Alana, Brett, and whatever guest you find on the streets.
And the whole audience, I hope.
This is by far
They're
my...
under a bus.
Wow.
This is also about the last episode.
The
by the way.
indignity.
This is
The
by far my
indignity.
favorite
It's also
episode
about
yet.
The Last of Us?
The last
Yeah.
episode. Yet I don't care about Atticus and American Girl now. All I want is Atticus and Bloody Nurse. Weird vibe having your mom mad at you for catching you not having sex and summoning demon powers.
Yeah. I agree.
Miami Dan, can we get another poll on who thought the last episode was the best one of the season?
Yeah.
And who
yeah.
thought versus this one being the best one so far?
Connor Morris sends an email
No,
about the
any
last
other.
episode saying, short email, Lovecraft. Hey, Brett, Alana, and Steve. Longtime fan of the
Hi.
EZU and this podcast, loving Lovecraft Country. Like you, was hesitant after episode 2, but as the show has gone on, the anthology style has made it very watchable, fast-paced, and
What?
refreshing.
It's been
Just a few things in defense of episode 6.
That face freaked me out. I looked back and I thought you had a filter on.
Who, me? Oh.
Just a few things in defense of episode 6. I'm with Brett. I love the episode, but just wanted to maybe answer some of your complaints. You say the episode isn't connected to the large show, but it is entangled with the main character's fate. Tick is seeing visions of Lovecraftian creatures right at the beginning of the show and is instantly more accepting of their reality than the other characters.
What
I
was
thought
her
it was
name?
something else.
It was like Gia or
Anyway,
something.
her story is certainly going to collide with the rest of the plot, and I was thinking when she gets that 100th soul, is that what might summon Cthulhu?
Oh.
Ooh, could she be Cthulhu? Maybe she turns into Cthulhu.
God, I hope
think it
we
was
get more
G-
Cthulhu.
I think it was Jiha. Isn't that her name?
Yeah.
Jiha.
It sa-
yeah.
He called her
something-
Gia. Gia.
Yeah, something
Gia.
that sounds like Gia.
Jiha. Tick.
Jiha.
Do you think the beginning scene was a vision of the future?
Unsolvable
know.
mysteries.
Max
Thanks, JJ.
sends an email saying, "Hey Brett, special message for Brett.
Hi.
Yeah, yes, that clutch 3 by Anthony Davis was fantastic. You're not alone. Love,
Right?
Max."
This
Thank
is
you.
Brett's
What,
basketball
clutch
corner.
Dude, guys, Lakers Heat finals. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, that was a great moment in Lovecraft Country for sure.
Wazzy Jazz says, "Don't stress over trying to say my name. Lovecraft Country episode 7. So now we're into the good stuff. Hey Steve, Alana, Brett, and possible guest or guests. Greetings from Michigan. Hope my email isn't deemed too long and thrown in the trash bin." This next email comes from... No, just kidding. First-time emailer, long-time listener. Been listening to your show since the Popeye episode. What's up with everybody listening to the Popeye episode?
Wait a second. Did you guys do the Popeye movie?
Yeah.
Am I remember?
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
I don't.
Alana
watched
was
it.
there?
Live.
No,
Who
it was
was there?
Brett
I was
and
45
Brad.
hours
for Kingdom
long,
of the
that
Crystal
movie.
Skull.
It was Brett and Brad and Alana, right?
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Fuck,
a good
man.
one.
That was a...
I might revisit that one.
Brett, you and your brother's names together is just bread? You're the bread bros?
The bread,
Yes.
the bread brothers. Anyway,
Registers.
so been listening to your show since the Popeye episode, and for whatever reason, that episode inspired me to go back and listen to the lost episodes while watching the episodes and respecting the format. Y'all have gotten me through the death of a younger brother. My goodness.
Oh
Shit.
my goodness.
I'm sorry.
And some more depression. Our condolences
sorry.
to you. That's
Yes.
terrible. I'm sorry. While I really enjoy this show so far, well, okay, left turn. Here we go. Right back to the. I don't think this is my favorite show you guys have done so far. That goes to The Leftovers. Okay.
Oh,
Wow, even over Lost, huh? That's surprising. Anyhow, I included some clips I found entertaining from episodes 2 and 3, as well as some quick thoughts on episode 7. Sure, why not?
Chill, bros.
But feel free to skip them if you're running long. Man, this show is just the perfect level of unsettling. I want to know everything too, Ruby, but I don't think this is that kind of show. Did that nightmare imply Letty might be pregnant? Oof, Tick, we don't use that F-bomb. Why'd Montrose rip his shirt off?
Yeah.
Because he was going to fight him.
Because why not? Hey, look, listen, I think I said this to you guys privately. If I looked like Tick, every episode do you think that actor's like, hey, so I was thinking like maybe my shirt comes off this episode, or like maybe okay, and this okay. So I'm just doing, and like maybe like no clothes. I'm wearing no clothes.
Here's the
No
deal,
clothes.
guys.
Yeah. We see like my butt.
I would lose friends over how often I didn't have a shirt on.
Listen, I worked really hard on this body, so my character's going to get so mad he's going to rip his shirt off. And then for the whole rest of the episode, I'm going to be shirtless. Yeah, I think you can make that decision.
Amen.
Have you guys watched The Wire at all?
No.
So I've been over quarantine. I've been watching it with my good friend Nick Wexler, and we've been watching it over FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really busy, so we fell off. But we're in season 3. But the actor who plays Montrose is very famous from being in The Wire, and his character Omar is like one of the most important and standout characters.
Yeah.
And anyway, look, if I look like that too, I would also be ripping my shirt off.
Indeed. He's also in Boardwalk Empire, and he's so good in that show too.
He's really good at flexing his neck in a small but large amount of stringiness that I've never seen before.
He's also so intimidating. He can be very intimidating, I feel like.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Imagine if he just showed up.
Oh no, I'm
Just
scared.
At your door.
No, I'm scared.
Tick sure.
Omar's coming.
Tick sure got there from St. Louis real fast. Can't believe Hippolyta went to visit Adrian Veidt on Europa.
I mean, all of these, 100% all of these.
This is a very fascinating way to do time travel or interdimensional.
As it turns out.
Multiverse. Interdimensional travel.
Fierce warrior Hippolyta is so fucking badass. Totally.
Yes.
I love that when Hippolyta figured out how to use the world displacement machine thing, she used it to explore the universe with George. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, looks like Tick found spoilers for the rest of the series, and the comic D made for her mom is going to get them all in trouble. Man, what a great episode. Can't wait to see how things work out the next few weeks. Also, my suggestion for the next series for the podcast, while we're all still using HBO Max, is 6 Feet Under.
Ooh, that's not a bad suggestion. It's been a long time.
Oh, it's so sad.
It's just hard. Yeah, it's sadder than Leftovers.
Have you ever
It's
seen?
like,
So
yeah.
I've only seen the pilot, which is great.
Really?
And
It's one of the best pilots.
The very end, because
Whoa.
it was shown to, because our music supervisor from Better Call Saul, Thomas Golubic, he was the music supervisor on that, and that Sia song. There's a Sia song that is the whole end.
Yeah.
It's like a coda, and it's like you don't even have to have ever watched the show, and you're just sobbing.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So sad.
It's a gorgeous
beautiful.
end. Yeah,
Beautiful.
to such a down show. Like,
I mean,
I love it, but it's hard to watch that show.
There's a big
It makes me
distance.
uncomfortable at how real.
In
and-
college, I was trying to date this girl who was a big fan of that show, and she's like, if you ever wanted to watch it, I would watch every episode with you. And I was like, guess we're fucking watching it.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, geez, I don't know how I'm going to turn this into a relationship. It's hard to pivot out of.
You went through your whole relationship watching that show, probably.
And you all died together.
Yeah, we never officially dated, I'll be honest. By the end of 6 Feet Under, I was like, all right, I think we're good here.
Sounds like that relationship was 6 feet under. Guys, he says, what a great episode.
Oh, no.
Can't wait to see how things work out the next few weeks. Also, my suggestion for the next... Oh, I read all that already. Okay, so here's the clips. Hope to see you guys next week. Or talk to you next week, I guess is what he said. Hope to talk to you guys
right?
next week. Jasiu
I don't know.
Wislileweski.
Well,
Yeah.
she or he, we love you either way.
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the
They?
clips they provided. And the first one is called... Oops. Hang on. Something's wrong with my damn thing here. First one's
This
called...
music is delightful.
First one's called Morning. Thank you. I find it quite pleasant as well. All right.
Morning.
Here it comes. Morning time. Uh-oh. Where is it?
Someone clap? No, that was Brett.
Someone clap? That was Brett. Where is it? Where did it go?
Someone clap? That was Brett.
Okay, great. I guess that's not going to work, so let's do it this way. Oh.
Hey, do I have
It
time?
literally
to say
just
something
says
while
good morning. And it's so fast. Let's try
is that
it
why it's
one
so
more
fast?
time. Here we
Okay,
go.
Morning.
Okay. We got a good morning. It's
All
been
right.
a while.
Dang,
defining
Good morning.
quote.
Good morning.
And we have a seasoning, a clip called Seasoning.
You know, white folks don't be seasoning their food.
That's a great clip.
That is a great clip.
Very true.
We'll throw it into the mix there. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Moving on. This next email
Hey,
comes.
can I say something?
Oh, please.
That was that email made me think about was the stuff, the sci-fi, the like traveling the universe with George, and how it was very self-consciously like 1950s sci-fi style planets, and it made me think about the fact that I've never seen a 1950s sci-fi movie where there are black astronauts going and traveling the universe, and I think it's really cool that they're sort of Lovecraft, you know, like they're reclaiming monsters and Cthulhu and the racist Lovecraft, and sort of adding representation that never existed. I think I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really, really cool.
I felt the
Me
same
too.
way, and I
The
found
best thing about this show.
I found myself saying to Alana, and it sounded like I was just saying the same thing I had said before, but what I meant was seeing the actress who plays Hippolyta getting to be like a badass, like Marvel kind of like superhero type character, and like killing all these like bad guys and doing cool fighting moves and stuff. I was saying to Alana, the fact that this show allows an actress of that age, of that color, to
Of that female.
of a
all
female
together.
that age, of that color, to be the star of like her own like really cool space adventure, and adding on to what you're saying, a 1950s space adventure is like so cool and refreshing and different, and you know, it looks right. It looked right. It looked like they did it right, and it looked right, and there should be more of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just, if that's what this whole show ends up being more than anything, I can forgive it for the bad story stuff and the bad writing stuff.
I agree.
And, because it's just like a wonderful playground for people to get to like do some amazing stuff that you've never seen
100%.
before. But yeah, great point, Chris.
I don't know if I've ever seen like a warrior type female actress who has less than like a model body either.
Right.
Which is incredible.
And also seeing her dancing up on stage with all those like dancing girls,
and seeing her naked too, and being
seeing
like,
her
that's
naked
normal and
there
chill, bro.
with them, and nobody addressed it in a bad way, and nobody addressed it like you don't belong here or anything. It was just like they treated her like she was one of their own, and it was just this beautiful moment that I thought was really body positive and really wonderful to see.
Everything pause.
Everything pause. Love it. Good point. All right. Chris's thoughts. Andrew Whitney says, hey, first timers. Haven't been able to watch the show on release nights the past few weeks, so I missed out on emailing. But we're back on track now. Well, thank you for letting us know. Episode 7 was an absolute trip. We were worried about you.
We need like a sound effect for Steve roasting people in email. It's just like a beep, beep.
How about this one?
for now.
All right. Let's see. Episode 7 was an absolute trip. I really hope this fully realized Hippolyta turns into a badass team member. That's what I was saying when she was like training. I was like, oh man, Hippolyta's gonna come back and she's gonna kick so much ass and help him out. And then Alana's like, hey, I listened to the podcast. And they basically confirmed that she chose to stay in the space universe. On the podcast,
they were like, if it wasn't clear, that was her choosing to stay.
That's kind of what I thought.
But they casually.
I was kind of hoping that.
I was hoping that
her
too.
last line though was like, "What about my daughter?"
She's like, "I can't."
It would have been
Dee
nice
needs
if
me.
her last line was like, "But I'm feeling good and free."
Yeah, she's like, Dee needs me, and it's like,
How do you say Dee
yeah.
needs me? So I'm staying.
Like,
bitch.
who's gonna take care of your daughter who is now an orphan?
Yeah, I mean, if we're getting into this, I do have a lot to say because the whole episode was about like women. The reason I love this episode and it's my favorite episode is it's all about female empowerment and specifically black female empowerment. But like I can relate to the female empowerment aspect, like all the ways in which your voice is taken away, your autonomy, your ability to have your own things and not
Reach
just
your
be taking
full
care of everyone
potential.
else. Like all of that in a society perspective, in the way that the patriarchy tries to like crush all that. I fully relate and like love this episode. And I think when you're talking about it's mixed feelings about the daughter. Obviously, we want to feel bad.
Yeah.
That sucks. But at the same
It's
time,
a little
like,
tough.
if in the way that we see the dad die, we're not feeling so like. I mean, we're sad that the daughter doesn't have a dad, but we're not like, oh my god, if he's gone, all this stuff. In the same way we're feeling about the mom, and that says a lot. Like,
yeah, but I also feel like if the next episode is about Diana, whatever her name is, experiencing trauma of like a monster force chasing her
and no parents. Well, it's probably about that.
like,
It's probably an
man.
analogy for that, for like
we'll see
something like that happening. But regardless of
we'll
the
see.
daughter thing, because that's a debate, certainly, and I think purposefully it's a debate. Like, how do we feel about that? I think what they did for getting a voice as a woman and all that stuff developing was so cool. And they pointed something out that I thought was so incredible that I'm just gonna steal a moment to tell you that how Hippolyta couldn't claim these aspects of her and like what she really wanted to be and be doing and all this. She was struggling so hard to claim that stuff because she was just forced into these other roles and felt responsible to them. But even her daughter, even Dee, was claiming for her when she says in that earlier scene, I think it's episode 2 or something, where she says she named that comet.
Mm-hmm.
And then she whispers it to Dee, but Dee like screams it out and claims it to the room. And then later she becomes Dee's version of this like free astronaut woman. It's very cool, this relationship between them and how her daughter is able to claim those things for her and then she can step into them. But it's nice to see her actually claim it for herself in this episode, which is...
By the way, I don't have my glasses on in the darkness right here. I thought this was the shades head being drawn, and I was like, well, I'm going to be murdered.
What is it?
It's just a shadow.
It's just a shadow.
And a monster.
But I was quite scared for the last few seconds.
Well, Brett, you are in a horror movie. It is.
If there's ever been a reason to watch the
Confirmed.
video version of this podcast,
Whenever it goes up. Because
Yeah.
the other one needs to go up first, which is always confusing. But, we'll get through this, guys. Trust
Read
me.
the titles, guys and gals.
Anyway, great points, Alana. Your thoughts
Fantastic.
ended a while ago, though, so please respect the format. I'm just kidding. I love everything.
Wait, after that last episode, I thought Alana's thoughts would start with Steve talks and then
Steve talks through Alana's thoughts.
this segment is still being defined.
We're figuring it out.
I'm going to claim myself. I am Alana's thoughts.
No, I was just the joke was because you were talking about women being
No,
held
no,
back
the
by
joke-
the patriarchy, and I wanted to make a dumb joke about it, but
I had the joke.
anyway, so Andrew continues and says, however, this new power she seems to have gained makes me feel like she might become some sort of sci-fi guardian angel for Diana.
That would be cool.
In reference to the other parts of the episode, I have absolutely no idea how anyone's related anymore. I really hope Tick and Letty don't get Star Wars'd. Also, Ruby has to be a spy for Christina now, right? Uh-oh. Sorry it's long. See you next week. # Yahoo!
I was thinking that same stuff.
What does the verb Star Wars mean?
Like Luke and Leia
like
kissing and their brother
marginalized?
and sister.
No, we're concerned that they might end up being of the same
Letty and
bloodline.
Tick might be related.
Because they're having the same dream from an ancestor who should just be one of their ancestors.
We call that full Star Wars.
But it
And
could be.
Christina said to Ruby, there's something
All
about
the
your
way.
family.
Yeah. Yeah, but if that part's taken out, it could just be because she's pregnant with Tick's kid, so she now has Tick's blood in her because of her belly.
But would that make
She's
Ruby
got
part
Tick
of the family?
something in her.
Yeah, well, would
Know
that
what I'm
make
saying?
Ruby? No, it wouldn't. So that's a
Yeah,
hole.
that's
However, that could be, and then this could be, and that could be. Could it be?
Daniel says, "Fantastic
could be.
voyage. Hi there, one and all. What a fantastic, ambitious episode. After the Tulsa mention of like to think that this show happens in a universe connects with Watchmen, just my personal headcanon."
What's a head cannon?
I mean,
Yikes!
It's just headcanon is when you decide in your head that the
what's
idea
what's
is
canon?
canonical.
Yeah, okay. I never have heard
Yeah.
this, and it
Sorry,
cannons
it's
my head.
it's nerdy shit.
It's
Just the hits.
I feel like it. Daniel's having a night. It feel like
That has also
Hippolyta was
infected my
meant
thoughts.
to have the planetary thing. Only show would actually get any use out of the device. Daniel, I'm having trouble
Only she.
with your email.
Daniel, I'm out of here.
Let me read that sentence one more time. It feel like Hippolyta was meant to have the planetary thing. Only show would actually get any use out of the device.
Only she would get any use out of the device. It felt like it was meant for her. I believe I agree with your face. I'm just trying to help.
Question: if you could go anywhere, like the name, the place, and time,
Wait,
where would you go?
did anyone else hear that?
it's
Digital fart.
I would probably choose something like the set of Empire Strikes Back. I was just thinking about this. What was I thinking of? Hold on. I was thinking,
I'm so
man,
shook.
I would love to be able to just travel back in time and just see that. Fuck, I can't remember. Maybe some kind of Beatles thing.
Anybody else
something.
got one? While he tinks on it.
Brett?
I don't know. I feel like we should have already thought about this, huh?
Yeah, we
I'm
really
pretty
should.
happy with right
Time?
now. In
Anywhere?
2020, in the pandemic.
Chris Hampel used to ask this question all the time, which was if you could get in a time machine one way, you cannot come back.
Whoa.
So you can go backwards, you can go forwards, or you don't have to go anywhere. Where would you go?
I wouldn't
And
go.
His answer is the best answer I've ever heard in my life. My answer was I would go back to the dinosaurs, and which now I understand that I would be alive for about 10 seconds, probably 10 seconds. I hopefully would be like, that's like get eaten by a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But in reality, the oxygen level would be so different because of the types of plants that we had back then that we wouldn't be able to breathe. So that's the like hardcore lame reality version.
That's hardcore lame.
Yeah, but so I guess I want to die. I want to die by dinosaur. That was good.
Why do we do a
You guys
police high
have to
five?
watch the video version of this. Is to watch them high five across time. This is an interdimensional high five.
it's
Wait, you didn't say what your friend always said. You said he has the best answer.
We don't have any time
guess
for that.
we'll-
So
Yeah,
Roberto,
we'll have to find out on the next episode.
I gotta hear it.
Guys,
I've been
good to
waiting.
see you guys.
Oh
Roberto
It's a
Abri-
better bit.
always-
no! Wait.
Is it? Hampel would have gone back to like the late 50s. And I hope I'm not blowing up his spot. I mean, this is great. Now, hold on. There's been a movie that has like ruined this at this point. This is like 10 years ago that he came up with this. And he would go back to like the late 50s and he would go to Liverpool and he would become the best drummer in Liverpool so that when they were the Beatles were looking for their new drummer, he would audition and he'd be the Ringo, except he would go back knowing all the Beatles songs, so he would write all the songs. So Chris Hampel, the drummer from the Beatles, would write all of the Beatles songs. It wouldn't be Lennon and McCartney. It'd be Hampel.
How
You're
would
saying
that-
yesterday has ruined this.
How would,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think that him...
I don't think it would work.
Do you think that if he came to the band and was like, I've written like fucking 40 amazing songs, here they all are, do you think that would disrupt the like thought process that got those men to those
Not
songs?
just thought process, but the magic and the chemistry.
But here's the thing: he would also know all the other hits. So the Rolling Stones songs. So the Beatles would just do it'd be like, they would do all those songs and like throughout time, like, he would know all the hits from the 80s,
So
the
he'd
90s,
be like
and
the Bodyguard
it'd be
song
like
and
the Beatles with their 150th top 10 hit, Ice Ice Baby, like
Don't Fear the
Reaper. They'd be like, but Hampel, what does it even mean? Ice Ice Baby. And he'd be like, guys,
I'm on
when
drugs.
have I ever been wrong? I've never been wrong. 150 hit singles, I've never been wrong.
Wow.
I'm Chris Hampel, the drummer of the Beatles. I'm the most prolific songwriter of all time.
Do you believe in the power of a curse?
Too many chickens in a chicken coop getting in your coop, chicken boy.
I'd go into the future. I'd go like 50 years into the future. Because by then, hopefully things that really suck right now would be better.
And you won't be able to understand any of the technology.
That's okay.
You're going to
Listen,
be like...
50's the right. 50's right.
You're going to be like Blast from the Past. You're going to be, what's his name? Ben
Frazier.
You're going to be like Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man.
Where's my mom?
Wow.
Where's my mom?
Where's my mom?
Steve, did you guys ever make a shirt of Where's My Mom?
No, but somebody made I think I have it somewhere.
I know,
Somebody
you
made
fucked
like a
up,
little
Steve.
they made a little painting that just says Where's My Mom on it. And I thought I sent a picture of it to you maybe.
I think of it often. that like the idea that actually had like sometimes
That's his
in my
first
head,
thought when
that
he comes-
is what happened in the movie, which is that's not the case.
Remember the first thing he said when he
It's just
came
people
out?
chowing down on Taco Bell.
You're doing some Mandela effect to people.
Where's my mom?
Where's my mom? Remember the scene they cut out of Demolition Man? All right,
The
Roberto
Zaragoza effect.
Abril sends an email saying, Hello, boys and girl and guest. Wow, just wow. I really don't have much to say
Hi.
other than this show keeps getting better and better. Not gonna lie, this episode started out weak for me, but the last 20 minutes or so made up for it tenfold.
Same.
Based on the preview for the next episode, it seems like we're getting another doozy. Also, very curious to see if you got any clips at all.
Nope.
No.
Wait.
Hey.
Check your email.
Oh, shit. Did we get a clip? Oh, we got a clip. Okay, hold on, but we got one more email, and then we'll get to the clip.
Okay.
Israel Chavez Lopez sends an email.
Izzy.
How much?
Yeah.
How much?
Yeah.
Do you believe?
Let us hear one.
How much?
I was
Yeah.
in the shower today, and I went out loud to myself, do you believe in the power of curse? I have a problem. We got to hang out more.
We do
Zoom
have to hang
or
out
in the park or somewhere. It can't all be dynamic banter where it's like because you never
That is
respond
hanging out.
when I say out loud when I respond to the podcast. It's weird. It's almost like it's pre-recorded and I'm just listening to it. Podcasts are weird that way.
Podcasts are weird that way.
Don't be ridiculous.
Do
All
you
right.
believe in the power of a curse?
Perfect Stranger Things. Somebody needs to pitch that show. Perfect
Oh
Stranger
my!
Can't
'Cause
you
they're
just
both
face
still
swap
alive.
Balky onto all the characters
Yeah,
from
someone
Stranger
should
Things?
do
Nobody-
deep fake.
I mean, that's fascinating. But also Netflix is, I mean, Stranger Things is their show, and they're the kings of bringing shows back. Perfect Stranger Things. Cousin Larry Appleton is still alive. Balki Bartakamus still alive.
Balki's in the Upside Down.
Are still with us. Yes.
Universe crossover.
It writes itself.
Like when the Flintstones and the Jetsons crossed. Let's do it.
It's a you know what? It is a 1-season limited series, so they can get Emmy nominations for limited series.
Yeah.
Easier to get. Sorry, limited series like Watchmen. Also, if Watchmen was up for best drama, they would have won all those awards too, because it's the best show ever.
Yeah.
I'll take my answer off air.
All right. Israel Chavez Lopez says, hello, baby boys and summer girl, Ecuadorian boy Israel here. How can this episode be so different from the last one, but still be so amazing? They went full sci-fi, and it was awesome. There's too much to talk about, so I'll just give a couple of my thoughts. Hippolyta is amazing.
Yeah.
She is so smart and uses her knowledge to get out of problems. We need more black women in STEM.
Yeah.
I love the mix of retrofuturism with Afrofuturism. It had a unique aesthetic.
Yeah.
The entire theme of women struggling to fit in society was so deep. I already knew that women have to sacrifice so much just to have a place in society, but this episode managed to show me a little bit of how that actually feels. The sadness, the rage, the conformity. It was very powerful.
Yes. Same.
Did you get any what was Beyonce's movie she put out on Disney Plus vibes?
It's called Black is King.
Lemonade 2 Judgment Day.
Lemonade 2, around the corner, the milk is made.
Oh my god! It's fudge, you dingo.
Of course
it's
not.
Fudge.
Don't be ridiculous.
All right.
Milk? What are you pooping milk like that movie we just
Hey
saw?
man, hey listen, look, we've all been there. We've all had some rough times.
What movie? Where they
Rough
pooped
times.
milk.
Probably
Sacha
one,
Baron Cohen we
No,
just saw.
no, it wasn't.
probably one of the Jackass movies.
Yes,
Dude, have
no,
you
they
guys
shit
seen
sperm. They shit elephant sperm.
Have you guys seen that movie, the Brigsby Brothers or something?
What the fuck?
Mom, hey mom, you should stop listening about 10 minutes ago.
Your hands wouldn't have nothing to cluck about if you had some cockadoodle-doos pecking in your own poops.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as well. I'm especially interested on Alana's thoughts about this.
Oh, I could talk for 200 years.
And not only on the show, but on her own experiences. Stay safe, guys, and I hope you're still wearing a mask. Well, thank you, Israel. That was very sweet of you. Good observations. Alana, any continued thoughts?
Yeah, I wrote down every woman feels this way, and I relate most to Hippolyta, and this is my favorite episode while I was watching.
That's great. I love that.
Can I say her speech to the husband was so cathartic and important points that aren't often made, and what ran through my head, no offense to boys and men, was that I don't think anyone else except for George would have heard what she said and been like, oh, you know what, you're right. Maybe that's just my experience, but I feel like it's, first of all, really hard to just understand the experience she's describing, but to also be the husband and not take it personally when you are in the same society but being taught the patriarchal side is so hard to separate from taking it personally. Like, it's not personal. It's like the construct that hearing her, watching that interaction and him just be like, I mean, he fights it for a second, then he's like, you're right, was like, I felt like I just exploded and turned into Alex Mack on the ground, just like, well, that's incredible.
Love that.
Point for Alex Mack reference.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I hope most girls felt the same way. And I think this is a really common thing right now for women to be feeling like they're finding their voice. Because, like, we're at that point in feminism and the shift of patriarchy to evening out a little bit more, hopefully, that it's more about feeling safe enough, safe to a degree as a woman. I mean, you're kind of aware of the things to be concerned about, whatever, but finding a way to be not just like neutral, but be able to actually be present and be your own person and be able to speak and have thoughts and feelings and stuff before age like 45. If you watch all those talk shows and stuff, all these actresses that come on, or, you know, important people that come on, are always like, it was about age 40 or 45. When I was 50, I was finally able to speak my mind. And you're like, oh, geez. Like, that's it. I think that's our era right now, is women being able to not just sit at the neutral, the amount of neutral we've achieved, but like start speaking for yourself earlier. But, you know, Gen Z, so I think we're doing well.
It's also just like good shit to see them do in an HBO show that, you know, like a lot of people are watching.
Amen.
Like, it's just one of those things that's like, hopefully these things empower people who wouldn't normally feel like these things are should be addressed and talked about in relationships, and you know, you should just see this stuff in movies and TV more. And that whole scene was very like important and nails a part of our social zeitgeist that kind of doesn't get talked about really in anything.
And more so for the black woman's experience.
Yeah,
I
for
should need
sure.
to mention.
But just like making, saying that she felt so small and she felt so hindered. And then he was like, yeah, I just wanted to know you were home and safe for when I came home. And it was just like this.
And
really,
seeing him get that.
Yeah, and it almost feels like it wouldn't be something he would have come to the conclusion of while he was alive, but more like in this version of that multiverse world she kind of created for herself, and in him realizing that it wasn't real and he wasn't really there. Maybe it was interesting that he came to that conclusion in kind of like this heightened version of himself.
I totally agree.
And I would say also, like, to speak to what Brett said earlier, because I do agree that I felt like the show didn't earn that moment with George and with Hippolyta, but I feel like we have earned it. Like, I feel like history has earned that moment, and it's kind of, and I think I said to you guys privately on via text, this is my first public outing. Hey everybody, Chris McCaleb.
Thanks for choosing us.
Yes, we're on KLVC Lovecraft Radio. No, that I feel like every time it gets me every time. I can't get enough of that. But it's sometimes this show is so much more than the sum of its parts, I guess. I think sometimes like, and I respect the artists who are doing the things. Sometimes the craft does not add up to what it doesn't reach what they're going for. I mean, the acting almost always gets there. I'm blown away by the acting.
I agree with that. Especially that woman that played the aunt or whatever.
The grandma, the aunt's lover. Oh, that's a spoiler. Let's let him finish. We'll say it after.
Oh, but I'm just like, I would say that the feeling that I get watching the show and the importance of the ideas that they are bringing to the table and that they are pushing out on HBO in a super digestible, in an incredibly entertaining format, in this and genre explorations. I don't know. I really appreciate that, and I felt like in that scene, as it was happening, I was like, this show hasn't earned it with Hippolyta. Like, we barely know her. I wish we'd gotten to see more of this, but we haven't. But this moment, I feel like America, and I mean I don't know if that sounds grandiose, but I feel like we've earned that moment to say, this is how I felt, and this is the situation that I was in, and I didn't know that I could change it, and now I know I wish I could have. And I think, I mean, as somebody who has learned in the last few years, that sometimes the experiences we have are not the same experiences that someone else is having. Like, I think that I think it's really important to continue having that as a conversation and to continue putting that out there. And I like that about the show, that they do that consistently, that they keep pushing those things to the forefront. I like that.
I second it all the way.
I spent the last 3 minutes face swapping Balky's face onto 11 from Stranger Things.
Oh no.
It doesn't look. This is the best I've gotten so far.
Oh no, that looks so weird.
I hate that. But I love that it's
you have to tweet it now.
Emotion.
Well, send it to the thread, please.
Brett, what are you using to do that? Are you Q?
Are you creating all the deep fakes?
Are you Q? Are you Q? Is Q and deep fake the same?
We lost him. We lost him. He's gonna. Brett's gone.
How do I shut this off? I use that same fucking face swap app that everybody's using.
Please send it to us. I want to see it. I want to see the finished product of that.
Well, wait,
but
Steve,
very
you
well
put
said,
it really
Chris.
well.
Yeah.
You put, when we were talking about The Boys, I don't know if we said it on air last week, but you were saying when we were watching The Boys after watching this last week, and saying how the filmmaking just feels a little bit more seasoned. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like more developed, like it just seemed a little bit heightened, better a little, if I'm gonna say that. But as compared to Lovecraft, like, maybe the filmmaking isn't as good, but the content I want to see 100 times more. Even though The Boys is good, the Lovecraft content is like, I want that out there. I want 15 shows like this on every top network. Like, I want to see it so bad that the filmmaking is secondary.
I guess I just want that, like, it's kind of unfair to compare The Boys to Lovecraft Country, but it is a new show that we're
and it has
also
sci-fi.
currently watching, and it is sci-fi and all those things, and dealing with a lot of current topics of social issues and things like that. Yeah. I just wish, I wish Lovecraft Country could do with their characters what The Boys has been able to do with their characters, which is spend more time with them and give us a little bit more just give us a little more time with these characters individually, rather than like having them kind of all together and learning about them at the same time, sort of. I don't know, they're okay, but there's 3 episodes left, so it's like, we'll see. Where are they going to go? Can they wrap up this first season story? Are they going to find this book of names? Will they use it to protect their family? And
what names will be in the book of names? How many names are in the book?
Rebecca.
Is it Joey, Sam?
Bobby!
Bobby's got to be
Craig,
in there. That's going to be on
James
page 1.
Ackerman.
Oh, I just realized they're asking her to name herself, and the whole thing's about naming
Falzone.
shit. That didn't even connect to me.
I just think that, like, they're definitely...
That's a good point, Alana.
They've definitely
I just got that.
driven home the idea that, like...
everyone drives this one car.
That, no. How
They've
dare
driven
you.
home
That's not
driving
what
You
it
know,
is.
there's
Woody.
one car in the city of Chicago.
Woody. Yeah, Woody's the only car in the whole show. No, that they're really driving home that idea that, like, magic is utilized by evil people in this world, in this, like, timeline. And so we're trying to get magic into the hands of the good guys. And I think that's kind of like maybe the where we're headed with the characters, is we're going to see the good guys take control of magic and use it for good to protect their people and their family. And, you know, maybe that's where we'll go with the end of season 1. That's my prediction.
I don't think it's bad guys or good guys with magic. I think clearly bad guys with magic, and then normal people who have flaws. Because I think they're clearly trying to point out.
I'm just saying that, like,
everybody's got not just good.
The main characters we're following are the good guys of the show. Like, is what I'm saying. Like,
using it in that way. Okay,
yeah.
I can get behind that.
Okay, you just said normal people. Do you think there's going to be a crossover with normal people on Hulu? I think that would be a hard pivot.
All right. Well, listen.
Marianne, I love you, Marianne.
I haven't seen
Marianne,
it yet.
I love you.
Oh, no.
I'm coming up. I'm cuddle. I love you.
I mean, if I had seen the
it's
show,
a real bummer.
Oh,
Is
is
it?
it?
I've heard it's a
real
bummer.
All those normal heads
Normal
are
people?
they're loving my Connell
Those
impression.
loving
that I just did.
heads.
Yeah, normal heads.
The people's people.
Wait, the clip. Don't.
Oh yes, the
don't
clip. I'm
bypass our
sorry.
damn
Oh,
clip.
we got a clip. I was gonna say
Time for
goodbye.
clips.
Time for some clips.
Let's get into that clipperis.
Here's the clip.
I was able to fix it.
I like my grits firm. You know this.
Turn it up.
Well, I didn't even hear it. I couldn't hear it.
I like my grits firm. You know this.
Twice more.
That's a great clip.
I like my grits firm.
That's
you know
real
this.
though.
I
Because I also like my
You know
grits
You know
firm.
this.
Brett, I totally agree. I never
Yeah.
understood grits, and then they were demonstrated to me how they could be good, and
Grits
it's
are
only
so
when they're
good.
firm.
It's only when
Yeah, I
they're
had grits this
firm.
morning.
I can eat wet grits.
You had grits this morning, South Carolina. Where are you?
Oh, I
East
had
Coast.
grits this morning. I had grits yesterday.
Did you have
morning.
grits?
Would you
from
go to
Cracker Barrel?
Shoney's? Did you go to Shoney's and get the?
I went to
all-you-can-eat-
Cracker Barrel and had grits.
Yeah,
Did you
Cracker Barrel
really?
grits are so good.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
You
man.
sound like my grandma.
Did you wear your cracker mask or what?
Did you buy?
Yeah.
Did you
Can I
did you
check?
buy a rocking chair?
You know what? I've never bought a rocking chair from there, but I've always thought someday.
Yeah, I know.
Someday
I want
today
one
will be the
so
day.
Wait, is
bad.
this real?
Yeah, outside of every Cracker
Yeah.
Barrel, they have all these rocking chairs that you could like sit in and wait for your like food or whatever, and
Well,
then
do
you could
they-
buy it. You could buy them.
Oh.
They sell them.
Hmm.
I like my grits firm. You
I've
know
seen
this.
people put it in the back of a truck and drive away.
For sure.
Like I've seen a purchase.
Yeah. I've always wanted
This
to
is
get
the
one,
part
but
of
they're
America I don't know
I've always wanted
much
to get
about.
one, but they're so far away from home.
think it's all
Transporting
good.
them would be impossible.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
They'll ship
Well, they
them
don't
to
have
you.
Cracker Barrel in Hawaii.
No, bish.
No, they should-
Good old home style cooking from the South
No.
in Hawaii.
Grits and spam.
We get our spam musubi, baby.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for listening to the show. Chris McCaleb, our guest, thank you so much for joining us.
That's
That's
me.
you, my friend. Please come
Hey,
back.
real quick, somebody. Hey, I would love to come back. Somebody said Lovecraft content earlier, and I wondered, would we be watching the show if it was called Lovecraft content? Because I wouldn't, because I hate that word.
No, absolutely not.
But this is Lovecraft content that we are
This is
creating.
Lovecraft
This is.
content. Yeah.
Welcome to
This
Lovecraft
is, and
content.
I am here for it. I'm here for it.
I like my grits firm. You know this.
Thanks for listening, Barbara. I'm so glad someone
Yeah.
emailed about the Lakers. That was wonderful.
That was Brett's favorite part of the show today.
What an evolution for this show.
Brett, thank you for joining us.
Yep.
It's like almost 2 a.m. on the East Coast.
Yep.
And
Wow, thanks.
I respect your dedication to the show. Your continued dedication to the show is inspiring.
Me too. Me too.
Thank you for
I
doing
can't.
that.
It's a good show.
It's a great show. Alana, thank you for your lovely thoughts and for
Oh, thank you.
making this podcast shine. We could use a little shine on these rusty boys.
My grits firm. You know this.
Ooh, okay. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to the show. Please watch the video version on youtube.com/thevalleycast. They'll be up as soon as they go up. And but these will always go up on Mondays, so the audio version, so you can always hear that. And please be sure to follow everybody on socials. Chris, you got anything to plug?
Oh man, if you guys if you have any if you're making any shows and you're looking for editors, I've been living. This is behind me. This is a virtual background. I'm just outside. I live outside.
In
No,
the
I,
Oh, you mean
I-
us,
I-
like the
I mean-
three of us, if
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
making a show.
No,
Okay.
I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to the audience. No, I'm
Oh,
expanding.
okay.
Brett, I'm expanding my network
Okay, cool.
to anybody who's making a show because I'm an editor and here I am. No, Chris
Guys,
McCaleb
Alana
on
just did blow off camera.
Oh, by the way, she does cocaine in the episode when she's in the 20s.
cocaine, yeah.
Wait, who does cocaine?
Cocaine.
She does cocaine in the Hippolyta.
Oh shit!
They said one of the things she did on the when she's in the 20s
weed,
that
like see the cocaine.
Yeah, she did a coke.
Sorry,
thing.
Chris, your plug. Please continue.
Sorry.
Chris McCaleb, Instagram, Twitter. Say hold on, wait a second. I'm trying to think because I like people keep saying something that was on an old episode.
Beyond say.
It was because I said it was like 2 hours into a podcast and I was like, if you are still listening to this, say I listen to you on my Instagram.
I listened
and
you.
People still are doing it. Yes, no, a lot of people. So just so you know, a lot of people get through the whole podcast and I.
What do you want them to say this time? I still listen. I listen harder.
It's Jennifer Love Hewitt. I still know what you did last summer. I still listen you.
Can I ask for one?
I still listen you.
I want anyone who comes to mind that are now at Alana Fickes, not Love Alana Sean. Last name Fickes is Fickes.
Love it.
I want you to say beyond say.
Nice.
Please comment beyond say
That's
to
nice.
me.
That's great. I love that. That's great, Chris.
Dude, we should do these every week. Chris, thank you.
Give people
Here
some
I
work.
am.
We give them all the free content. They should do a little work while they're at it.
Yeah.
Oh
my God. Why
We're
is
having a lot of digital.
it keeps happening
fart
every
sounds.
time?
I like my grits firm. You know this.
All right. Well, guys,
Wait.
thank you so. What?
The last spoiler. The one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we'll leave you with a
in the
great
podcast.
We'll leave you with a great moment. In the podcast, they said that you know how Atticus goes to try to find his aunt, and he finds this woman who was living with his aunt, like her friend or whatever. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Steve and I were pointing out how great of an actress she was. She was like so
Very natural.
great, so
Very
natural. And I heard on the podcast that this apparently she character was supposed to have become lovers with the aunt. And that's why they lived together. Because they were like, in that line where she's like, well, our husbands are dead. What are we going to do? That was meant to be like, we should get together and do sex and live together.
You know what? Isn't that interesting?
yeah.
Did you have any relatives in the past? This has been a topic of conversation recently about different family members where they'd be like, oh, this was so-and-so. This was her roommate, or this was, it was like just two adults living together, like of same sex. But because of the time, they couldn't
say they were lovers or whatever.
There's a great documentary about that on Netflix, but I forget the name of it. It's you'd never guess it.
I also watched it.
Did you?
They were baseball players.
I didn't see the second half of it, so.
Oh,
they're girls.
Three identical strangers.
It was the real story of two of the women from A League of Their Own.
No,
And
okay,
they
that's
had
not the one
been-
I saw.
All right, hold on.
You gotta Google it. Oh, I don't have that in my
Hold on.
Just
family
Bing
history.
it. Go to bing.com and
Go to that
You
duck
had
one.
your hearing tested lately? Have you had your hearing tested lately?
We tricked you, by the way. Guess the pot's not over
it's
yet.
So good. It's so good.
It goes for another hour.
Yeah.
It's called A Secret Love.
A Secret Love.
Hey.
Okay, maybe that is the one I started.
Yeah.
I just didn't get that
All
far.
right.
Yeah.
Welcome to
Hold on.
after first time show. This is
This is A Secret Love
We're
live.
What do you want to be when you
Listen,
grow
here's
up?
the plot.
yeah.
Be when you grow up. What's the right
Brett,
tip?
Brett,
Have you called
Brett,
a
should we
plumber to your
just
home
start?
lately?
Brett, should we do a after show to this podcast?
Yes.
Do it.
No, listen to this,
How
Alana.
much
Listen.
money would it take to make you spend the
Spend the
night.
night in the cemetery, which I'm sure is totally out of sync.
Okay, wait. Are you listening?
That's good.
A former All-American girls professional baseball league player and her partner run a successful interior decorating business and keep their lesbian relationship a secret from their families for almost 7 decades.
This sounds like a 2020 series.
You should just let it happen.
It's a documentary on Netflix.
I'm
God
in.
damn it.
It's okay.
Come on, society.
We can say that now, because now, you just let it happen, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You display this as a trophy.
Can you guys hear the wind chimes as the wind picks up?
No, it sounds like you're going to get murdered.
It's very scary. Yeah.
Got my
very
trophy.
scary.
Believe in the power of
This
a
was something that
curse.
an old roommate made for me. He made this out of copper.
Whoa.
And it says, I quit my job to make a movie,
Wait.
which was something that we used to talk about
But
doing.
wait, is this a roommate or a lover? Just come
No,
out with
it's
it.
funny
Get
to-
out
Yeah,
with
I
it.
mean, just
live your life,
That's
Chris.
nice.
Had your hearing
It was a roommate.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
Alana,
the
have you had your
chimes.
hearing tested lately?
Planning a trip soon.
Huh?
Can you remember the tallest
Yeah, the wind's
man
starting to pick
you've
up.
ever seen?
Can you remember the tallest man you've ever seen? All right. Well, guys, thank you
Might
for
be my
listening.
cousin.
Thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate you. Thank you to Chris McCaleb, our guest.
Thank you,
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Alana Fickes. Thanks for
Thank you,
listening.
everybody.
We'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You
Bye.
love to go a wandering beneath the clear blue sky.